Good evening, guys. I am the wildest. We are driving the Corvette, which is extremely powerful. Not so good on the fuel, as you can see. I quickly moved to map 6. The reason why I'm doing that is to ensure that I save as much fuel as I can to start. We're doing a 10-lap race today. We're starting P7, and to be honest, this is a slightly rusty lobby. I mean, I think slight would be an understatement out here. This lobby is quite rowdy. For those of you who don't understand rowdy, I would say it's jungly. Dirty drivers, definitely some A-rated drivers. We are of course starting with our SR rated S. 2 seconds, 1 second, and we go. So quickly bring it back to map 1 just to ensure that we're not losing out on any acceleration. 10 laps around this tricky circuit. Suzuka can be a bit of a challenge. We have to downshift and brake at the right time. Early downshifts immediately lead to a loss of torque, and you tend to lose the rear end, as you just saw over there. Sorry for my fumbles, but please deal with me. So here what I thought was, instead of keeping it on map 1, let me keep it on map 3, because as you can see, I was gaining ground on the guys, and clearly they were struggling around the S's, but I didn't want to immediately just get onto the attack and be in their dirty air. So as we go on out here, we are already gaining on the leader. We're gaining by a significant bunch, and the guy behind was quite dirty. As you can see, he will make a bump into me. There you go, there's the tap right there. Lunges into me. I was having none of it, so I just gave it back to him. Yes, absolutely dirty on my part, but the game recognized it as a clean move. So I'm gonna be honest out here, that was a stupid move at his end. I make a dive down the inside, braking late. The Subaru was kind enough to give me space and let me through. See, you gotta understand that when you're racing out here, you gotta keep it clean. You cannot keep it dirty just because it's virtual racing. That's not how things work. Though this was my first race, I was having none of this nonsense. And let's be honest, we're here to have fun and not get argy-bargy for no reason. So as we approached the famous 130R, I had to downshift a little and maintain and stabilize my car and quickly get to it. So in all of that nonsense, we ended up losing a second, but more than a second in fact. But as you can see on your top left, this is a real-time gameplay that I've recorded instead of a replay, which doesn't give you time. So 130R, there you go. Trying to keep it as clean as I can, holding up as much speed as I can, but it was still a challenge. Getting onto the chicanes, and we're soon about to get done with our first lap. Now, as you'll see, we still got about 9 laps to go, but our fuel meter is about 6.5 laps. So I had to make sure that not only was I managing my fuel, but also ensuring that the guy behind was not catching up too much, and of course gaining ground on the guys ahead at the same time. So this is a straightforward patch, just trying to gain ground on the guys ahead. I figured that sector 1 was where these guys were struggling on their cars, but the Corvette was pretty strong, so that really came into our favor for sure. As you can see, I'm gaining as much as 2 tenths, 3 tenths within the first part of the S's, and the momentum that this car could carry was fantastic. Short shifting my way into corners to ensure that I'm not losing out on momentum, and at the same time gaining on the guy ahead. So we were patient, we were taking our own sweet time, we weren't really being in a rush as such, and we were going about with our action. Pretty straightforward, nothing great out here, but suddenly out of nowhere, the guy ahead gets a half a second penalty, probably for corner cutting, maybe just ignoring track limits at a certain space. So no problem, there you go. Nicely cutting into the Schumacher corner. No, that's not the Schumacher corner. Sorry about that. But yeah, keeping it straightforward, keeping it clean, keeping it simple. Tire wear was a bit of an issue, but the mediums were holding up really well. Plus, we weren't really being too aggressive, or we weren't really attacking the corners as such. So keeping it fairly clean. And someone's had a spin. So the Brit, Gran, had an unfortunate moment, and just like that, we gained another position. So started P7. We're up P6 now, and about to gain on this guy. But now, will we make a lunge? Yes, we will. We've got enough momentum. Keeping it on the inside, I think I kind of clipped him. So sorry about that. No pyro, no party. I'm extremely sorry, but yeah, it was my first race. I was still trying to get a hang of how things were. But yes, dirty lobby, dirty driving, clean driving on a dirty lobby doesn't help anyone. So the Italian Cuckoo 1970 wouldn't really be able to catch us because the new Subaru really lacked horsepower. So I think we had an advantage of, I think if I'm not wrong, on BOP settings of over 120 horsepower, which is massive, by the way, in any race condition. So that is why I wasn't really worried about the guy behind. Corner speeds would be a factor, but the Corvette was fast enough, so there was no harm in that. Kept it on map 1, wasn't really going all out. I mean, managing my throttle inputs, clocking in a purple sector, so that was a good sign for sure. 201s is a relatively slow time for sure. I know the top guys are doing as low as 159s, 158s in their races as well. But nevertheless, I'm going to give myself the time, to learn and enjoy the race as much as I can. So we're up on P5 now, still clocking in personal bests, and you can see there's a bit of action over the hairpin. So let's see what happens out here. I've gained on the German for sure, and I'm still gaining. I think I've already gained a second, and we're still gaining some more ground on the German, who is in that beautiful Infinity. I think the Infinity cars look extremely futuristic in this game. Got that feel of, I would say, a blend of Tron, the movie. In case you guys haven't seen it, I would suggest you guys watch it. It's a good insight of the future. But getting back into the race, as we see out here, fairly straightforward. Nothing major happening out here. We're just going about with our business, and we can maybe skip through this section as such. We've got nothing. But here on 130R, I do carry a decent amount of speed, which helps me gain a few crucial tenths on the guys ahead. And as you can see, that guy was really struggling at the chicane. So there you go. We've gained another 7-8 tenths on the guy ahead. So clearly the guys were struggling. Clearly the guys were having their own struggles, but I soon found momentum. I soon found the right spots to brake. I had them in place, and then I figured where to downshift, where to carry enough speed. And the guy in third, the Spaniard, just having a moment over there and losing ground as well. So all of that action will definitely help us gain more ground. Now we were being straightforward, we were being patient, we weren't really in a hurry. This is a 10 lap race, so it will be about 20-25 minutes in duration, which means that you need to time your pit stop. If you're going to go for a one stopper, I did see a couple of people, rather not a couple but quite a few people actually do a no stopper as well. So I think no stopper with certain cars is actually a good idea because it helps you save like 30 seconds. So there you go. Oh, what's happened out here? We've got a three-way action suddenly taking place. So the Frenchie having a bit of a moment and losing ground. So there you go. Now things are gonna get heated, and Gagino, the Frenchie, losing ground and just about having another moment out there. So this helps us because now we're well within this slipstream, and this will only help us pull into the guys ahead. We can manage our fuel a little more and keep it stable, keep it clean, and we should be able to gain on the Subaru. The Subaru was a relatively quicker choice as well, and David just about losing it. So action coming in our way now, guys. I think things are gonna get a little more interesting. So for all of y'all who have been here so far, stay tuned, as you guys are gonna see a lot more happen as you progress with the race. And 130-yard three-way, not a good idea. That I got a little distracted, I won't lie. I wasn't sure what's gonna happen, so I just wanted to sort of just be evasive, and that costed us. But nevertheless, we still gained time. Second place and third place enter the pits. I think a little early by my opinion. Maybe a lap later would have helped. We still got 3 laps of fuel remaining. We're well within the fuel range as such, and we can save our fuel behind the Frenchie. And not being aggressive on the downshifts. This is not like Gran Turismo Sport. You have to be careful. Physics definitely come into play out here. Early downshifts lead to torque being corrected, and that loss of torque causes the car to sort of lose its rear end, and we've seen that with so many other professionals also make mistakes. Charles Leclerc at Monaco was one clear example where he ended up losing the rear end on Niki Lauda's esteemed Ferrari, just because he was pretty aggressive on the downshifts. But nevertheless, we are gaining on the leader, we are gaining on the guy ahead as well. But at this point, all I was contemplating on is whether should I box or should I continue, as I still had about 2 laps of fuel left. But I wasn't quite sure. I didn't want the guys behind to gain on me, I wasn't sure of what the guys who boxed or what their position was like. So we had a cushion of 3 seconds on the guy behind, and we were well within 4 seconds of the leader and about 1.3 seconds of the guy in second. So I was like, all right, you know what, let's just see how it goes. If the top two guys go in, I'm gonna go in as well. Probably these guys have had more practice than me, and someone just left the lobby just like that. So 2.5 laps of fuel remaining. Lap 5, just about to get over. We're approaching 130 out. What kind of speed are we carrying out here? So get a nice exit about 225-30 k's, which is decent, not too bad. Keeping it fairly simple, not carrying too much acceleration. I see the guy settle it at the pits, and I decided to do that. Oh, and there's a mistake from me. The new game, by the way, is pretty strict on rules. So when I say that, what I mean is typical racing standards do not allow you to cut the pit entry line or the pit exit line. Doing so leads to a penalty. This wasn't there in GD Sport, but as we get done with our pits, there's our crew doing a fantastic job, quickly changing our tires, swiftly adding fuel. We top up with about 5 laps of fuel, and we gain ground on the guy ahead, but there's a 3-second penalty because we cut our pit entry line. So that's a good addition. That's a really good addition for sure by the game. I think that really helps. But now about 5 laps to go, including this one. We're 28 seconds behind the leader, and we've got a 3-second penalty looming over us. So I knew I had to get my elbows out, put my head down, and just go for it. So you'll see that I tend to get a little more aggressive on my second stint. Try to carry more speed, put pressure on the guy ahead. And there's the Infinity. So we did get a jump on David. If you guys remember, David had boxed as well along with the Spaniard. So probably David had a moment because of which we got the jump on him, which is still a good sign. But with the 3-second penalty, we will lose ground. A bit of a moment happening ahead, but nevertheless, let's keep it clean. And oh, there's a lunge by the Frenchie on the R tracing guy. The R tracing chap was a dirty fellow. You can immediately make out with the way he's weaving around with the car, and you can see, there you go, not giving enough space, and trying to make unnecessary lunges every now and then. I wasn't too sure about this guy, and he seemed filthy. So we'll have our encounter with him in a moment's time, so stay tuned. But nevertheless, there is a penalty zone over 130. Now you can see he was slow, he was probably saving fuel, and we're going to serve a penalty out here, move to the left to give enough space to the guys behind, and no one's there up close. So I think not that big of a loss, but definitely we could have gained on P1 on Vic, but it's okay. That's no problem. And time to put our heads down. So top 3, the Brits ended the pits, so definitely we should get a jump on at least 2 of them, if not Vic. So we move up to P5. Yes, we do. 6.2 seconds is our loss. We're down to P6. So a 6-second gap. We did lose 2 seconds because of the penalty and whatnot. But still, you can see the guys ahead. You can see that we are gaining on them. There's all of them. There's P1, P2, P3, P4, P5. So they're all in our radar. And I just end up breaking a little loss of concentration in just sort of counting those cars. And that wasn't really a good thing, but still didn't really cost us too much. I knew that I had the pace. I knew that I could catch them, and with fresh rubber and more fuel in the tank, let's go for it completely. Now as we move forward, you will see that this becomes a straightforward moment, but with the action taking place up front, we were gaining on the guys ahead. And sometimes, you know what this game does, it just gives you positions for free. You end up gaining ground for free because the guys are constantly battling. They're all being aggressive. They're trying to put in the extra bit, and that really compromises their race, as you will see out here. Now again, our racing probably was on a no stopper, saving fuel all the way, and that's why you can see that he was losing ground quickly. But in all of this, what happens is the slow guys tend to unnecessarily block you, and that can cost you valuable time, which you cannot afford to lose in this game at all. And there you go, there's another moment. Sorry for my random sound effects, but yeah, the exit of certain corners in this game with these cars. If you don't manage it properly, it's that easy to just sort of undo every bit of effort. So entry at about 240, exit at about 225, 130R, which is fairly good, I would say, under racing conditions. Now P4, P5 well within our radar. The Infinity struggling for sure. So let's just keep on the tail, be within their toe as I clock in at 201. So 1.5 seconds of the fastest lap is not bad at all. Now, are we going to make a move down the outside? No. I decided let's just be patient. Let's just take it easy. I do not trust this lobby. I do not trust these guys. Things can go argy-bargy in a moment's time. As you will see out here, art racing with that one little mistake. I just ran a whole ground, costed the Infinity its place, and just like that, we gained P5. Now, I figured that art racing will not make life easy for me, and art racing will do whatever he or she can to ensure that I lose position. I realized that I was gaining a lot more ground, so I had to time it, and I figured that the hairpin would be the best chance for me to go about this. Keeping it fairly straightforward, keeping it fairly clean out here, only shifting to create any form of random acceleration. And you will see as I try to do that, he cuts in a little, and I figured, you know what, this guy is not going to do. So I go for the old switcheroo, block the exit on him completely, because I knew he was going to turn in. Had he turned in on me, I would have surely lost control. So I had to make sure that the impact was subsided. Now I was dirty on my part, I will not deny. Absolutely dirty driving, so I'm sorry for that. But there was no point compromising your race over someone who's on a low stop or saving fuel. We go about it. 3 racing incidents. The FI will take action. We might pick up some penalty points. That's fine. It's just about racecraft. It's just about being able to anticipate what's going to happen, how things are going to go about. I think if you have that in place, things will be better. Entering much more faster this time. Good exit speed of about 242 Ks. So surely gaining ground on Vic, who was leading at one point. Now surprisingly, Vic is down to P3. We've got the Spaniard who actually boxed early, and he's on P1. We've got Giacchino in P2. What do you think? 2 laps to go. P4 from P8. That's not a bad result. Our game rates us that we would finish P3, and just like that, as you can see out here, the leader in the Infinity has had a moment, as I told you guys some time back. One bit of a hairy moment, one bit of oversteer, and you will lose position. You will lose the rear end of the car. That's how sensitive this game has become. There are a lot more of real-time racing physics that you have to keep in mind. So there you go. We're clocking in another a personal best, and 8 seconds behind the leader. We are gaining ground, so not bad. I don't think I'll be able to catch up on the leader, but can we do something about P2? I'm not so sure at this point. I'm happy with P3. I wasn't anticipating a P3. The game, at least for this particular lobby, did feel that we should finish nothing lower than 3rd, so let's not disappoint the game. Let's see how things go. We've got about 2 laps, about a lap and a half. I think all I need is some good fortune from you guys. So on the count of 3, if you guys can like this video, hopefully we might get one more position. So I'm going to begin my count now at 3, 2, 1. Go and hit the like button, folks, and let's see how things turn out to be. Please be kind, subscribe to this video, and it'll really help me and motivate me to provide a lot more fun content as I'm doing at this point. So coming back to the race, we're just about to complete lap number 9 on to 130R. I'm confident, and what's happened out here? We've got yellow flags. Oh, so let's go, and oh my god, what's happened out here, guys? I think the liking has really helped, and that good fortune has really come into play out here, and just like that, we've gained P2. So there you go, folks. 1 lap to go. 2 seconds behind is the guy in 3rd. 8 seconds up front on the leader. So I guess I think it was pretty clear that we've got a lap's worth of fuel in our tank. There was no need for me to push. There was no need for me to do anything reckless or stupid at this point. We know the Corvette can be a little unstable if it wants to. So I was just trying to keep it clean, keep it well within the racing line, holding on to momentum, managing my throttle, managing my brake inputs, not being too aggressive on the steering inputs, and just like that, we've cleared the most tricky part in my opinion. The S's are all about carrying momentum. So if you've carried momentum, enough momentum, then you're good. So there you go. I think sector 1 was nicely done. Sector 2, this can be a bit of a tricky corner, but I prefer downshifting to third and then upshifting to fourth immediately to not destabilize the car in any manner. And just like that, we are now done with the heady bits. Coming on to the hairpin, we've got about a 2.6 second lead. Fuel is well within control. We've got about 8% of fuel remaining, while we've done about close to 40% of the lap. So I think by that metric we are good. I was happy to let the Frenchie go ahead. 8 seconds is too much. I think as I pointed out earlier, that sometimes if you just keep it clean, you need not have to be aggressive with your lap times. Of course, if you're fast, if you've got the pace, then go for it. But some lobbies you just have to judge, and you just have to keep it clean. As you saw, not a single mistake apart from the pit entry. Though a 3-second loss was there, maybe we would have been closer to the guy up front. But just like that, we end up finishing P2. Just this final chicane to go. Am I gonna make a mistake? Oh hell no, man! I'm gonna keep it clean, keep it nice on the entry point, the exit, not creating any form of wheel spin, and just like that, folks, we have finished P2. So not bad, as you saw. B-rated lobby. I have to work on my ratings, but 8 seconds behind the leader. I will take that. I was to finish third, finish second. So thank you so much for that. I'm hoping you guys really enjoyed the race. So Gagino P1, Wildest Monk, that's me in P2, and Danny Racing, the Spaniard, in P3, followed by the Brits, the Italian, French, and Germans. So yeah, surprisingly only 9 guys finished the race out of a lobby of maybe 16. So yeah, Suzuka can be aggressive, and yeah folks, just like that, a bit of a celebration, gaining 6 positions. That's fantastic. So thank you so much. If you guys like this video, alright, please do like and subscribe to my content.